Hello, just love Liverpool. I'm glad to be part of the panel. I'm called Murungi Judith from Uganda, East Africa, and I work with an organization called Reconciled World under the program Truth-Centered Transformation. As I've been invited to discuss on the topic overseas mission, aid and development, how can the church help and not hinder? And I'm going to talk about the good and the bad development, giving an example of TCT program that I work with here in East Africa among the churches and how it supports communities. And one, talking about the good, let me start with the good part. The good part of development is, yes, development helps. It helps in supporting communities be aware of where they are and where they want to be. And the good part that I've seen, that once we address the wrong beliefs in a community, we'll be able to see lasting change and replacing the wrong beliefs with truth. And of course, truth from the Word of God. As we mentioned, how can the church help and not hinder? Of course, the church fronting the message of the gospel is and the truth to the people who have believed these wrong beliefs. The other is helping the vulnerable. As we do development, is helping the vulnerable to be able to regain their hope, their dignity, and their identity as we work with them. Because we believe that as we do the TCT program, one of our values is serving the vulnerable. And so this principle helps the church to be able to know that as we are engaging with the vulnerable, they have lost hope. We need to help them regain their hope. There are many things that have caused them to lose their dignity, and we need to help them regain their dignity. That will bring transformation and development in their community as we serve them. The other is encouraging the people to discover their God-given resources. Many a times we think money is able to help or solve all problems, but there are many things that God has put in the communities where God sends us as missionaries. As we do missions, it's important to discover what is available and how can we leverage that to be able to support communities and help them recognize that God has provided for them, and they can start from where they are in the multiplication is from God. We trust that when development is done with that perspective, of course, starting, we normally say as we're training TCT, that when you start the wrong way, it's very hard to get the answer. So it's better to start the good way as we engage in development so that we can get the good answer of transformation and people recognizing and helping and knowing that God is in charge and the church has helped. And now let me go back to the area where the bad side of development. From my experience and from what I have seen and my communities and the communities that I serve, there's so many pitfalls of development. And I beg to be pardoned in case I mention something and you're not happy with it. I'm just being frank to tell you what I've discovered from the 15 years I've worked with communities and through the church. One of the challenges I found is the cultural difference. In many times as we come as overseas missionaries, we sometimes want to impose the culture that we know as opposed to learning the culture of the people. And that becomes a hindrance and a pitfall to enabling development go on. Sometimes we do it our way and it doesn't work. After years we have gone, the people are still the same. So that is one of the pitfalls that I've noticed in communities. Then the other is not engaging we call it participant or community involvement not involving the community in decisions that we are going to make. So that really is something that, because they will not own it, so, and if they don't own it, it will not work. And also thinking that money is the solution to all problems. Those are the challenges, and I encourage you to check our website, which talks about how we help organizations. That is www.frameworkfortransformation.org. It will give you details and our principles on how we can help as a church to support development and do it the right way that will bring transformation and the glory of God to God. Thank you very much.